what I've seen in the fitness industry is really, a lot of pressure to look a certain way or to, yeah, really looks for females is a lot really. Um, and I've just always enjoyed training to be strong and not compete with anyone else, but really to compete with myself. And it's not even a competition. It's more like achievements really is how I see it. So I would love, getting stronger in my deadlift or in my benches or getting more pull-ups, these kind of things. That's really how, yeah, how I enjoy my fitness and my
Hmm.
training. And again, I've been really blessed to work with amazing coaches who have just helped me to achieve those goals and really cared for me as well. I think that's a super important thing. Um, so yeah, that's something I wish more females saw, because I think there's a negative side in the fitness industry for sure as well, especially for
Hmm.
females.
Yeah.
Not to say it's not the same for guys. I'm sure it's the same. It's just obviously I can only speak from my perspective, and so that's,
Mhm.
yeah, something I see.
It's interesting you said
Um,
that today because the other day I had someone sort of talking about choosing a coach, and their whole thing was like how that coach looked,
oh gosh,
instead of like, what their background was, what their experience, what their results were. And that really speaks to, I think there's an undertone, at least in the fitness industry, that the way it started was very
yeah,
much aesthetic driven.
yeah. That's so interesting. And yeah, I mean, I totally understand where they're coming from, but and I do think it's important that someone who uh, gives advice on health and on training looks a certain way as well, but that's not all.
Hmm.
And for me as a female, I've only ever had male coaches, and so I can't say that anyways.
Hmm.
But let's just say they were not the naked guys on stage. My
Hmm.
coaches were never there.
Hmm.
I don't think I would be able to. Well, I don't even know. Like, I don't even want to say anything about that. But it's
Hmm.
just, you want someone with great training, great background, and someone who cares.
Hmm.
So my coaches are now personal friends as well. One of my coaches is actually was a friend first before he became my coach,
Hmm.
and yeah, that's way more important than looks. And don't forget, your coach goes through circles in life as well.
Yep.
So it's
They're
not
human.
like you know what's going on in their life to why they're looking a certain way. It doesn't reflect what's in their brain or how much they care for you or what their education is. So
Hmm.
don't forget that when you're choosing a coach as well.
Yeah, I think, and you sort of knowing, and meeting as many people as you have, is giving you a sense like there's different ways to look at things, but also, it's not always a direct reflection of what they know. It's the way they like to train, it's the way they like to live, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It doesn't really necessarily negate what they know,
No.
in the long run here.
Yeah. And also like this, I've met some amazing people who went on stage, and I'll tell you, all their training was different. There's not a single style of training that got all of them to where they went in
Hmm.
their careers. Everyone tried out different things, found what works for them, and then went with it.
Hmm.
And that's what you want in a coach. You want a coach that tries different things with you to see what works for you to then get you to your goal, kind of thing.
Hmm. Absolutely. So your personal journey, you
Yeah.
had these coaches, it's sort of helped shape you. You said you're fortunate, and when you were talking about that, it reminded me of a book that I was reading a while back called Belief Bullets, right? So I think it was Joe Dispenza, but basically the point was that he was able to dodge the certain sets of beliefs that may have held him back from
Mm.
succeeding in I think it was in his art career in that sense. And it's like you said, you were fortunate enough that the people around you introduced fitness to you in a way that was more health driven, probably, and more performance driven than it was aesthetic driven. And it helped you, I guess, to, in some ways, avoid certain, I don't know, pitfalls where it comes to,
Struggles.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My again, like my brother's been so like such a huge I sometimes I wonder, whether he realizes how big the impact that he's had on my life,
Mm-hmm.
because like he introduced me to everything when I was 10 years old, at the time not even training. Like I was just a little girl looking through these magazines, and then getting me my first coach. Through that, I guess, I started training more, met other people, did my FST training, was lucky enough to meet amazing people through my FST training.
Mm-hmm.
And now I work in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
and he was really the one that started it all for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I've also been lucky that he's a really great researcher. So he likes to dig deep and find the best people. So he didn't go for just the cookie cutter, whoever looked good that year kind of thing. No, he
Mm-hmm.
really went straight to amazing people. So I really have him to thank for a lot of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having the right coaches, having the right influences in your life, I think is very important, because it's, they sometimes make the mistakes before you do. So that way you don't have to, you can learn from them. You can sort of be inspired by them. And I think there's a lot of benefit from having mentors and coaches and that sort of thing. This is something that's been really big for me in my life.